Hello, people. It's Duncan at Free as an Eagle. Just checking in to say hi and quick catch up on a kind of miserable, drizzly, cold day leading into a very cold week. We're hitting a cold snap. I think this is the 9th or 10th today, and by Tuesday it'll be a high of about 29 degrees up here, and we'll be getting snow off and on. So definitely winter's sneaking in. I've been hurrying as best I can to get ahead of it. Last year about this time, I think I was nowhere near this far along with this little A-frame, and I was making temporary windows to put in to close it in for the winter. Now I actually have all the real windows in. As of about a week ago, we got the mid-level windows. We'd done the upper triangle here, and then the mid-level windows came in. So a little help from family and friends, we were able to get those in and used our pulley system. We left a chain sticking out of the top of the ridge up on the high end of where that triangle is that I've zoomed into, and we just clipped into that with a rope and pulley system that we'd use to pull up that triangle, and we're able to pull these middle windows up one at a time onto staging and install them, I was a little bit nervous about that. And the windows were kind of a weird special order. They chopped the lower corners off. The only way they would make these ones that were sort of trapezoids was to chop the outer corners off, probably for safety reasons. So once we had that figured out, I was able to order those and get them. So they're all in, and then the slider had been standing by waiting for those windows to go in because they're so big, they're taller than the slider. I didn't want to have to risk damaging the slider to get them outside. So we put those up first, and then the slider went in, and then my very nice little wood stove, which I much appreciate having. Didn't have this in here last winter, so now I've got a little bit of heat, making it very comfortable. So now that the outside is almost done, I ordered a bunch of trim wood. Now that those windows are in, so I can finish that up, and we'll take a little walk outside here to look at that. Up until about a week ago, I just had pieces of plywood over that opening, and that was a damn nuisance to unscrew those every time I came up and wanted to get out. I'm sneaking next to some staging here, so it's a little awkward, but I'm just going to take a couple of steps back. So I just finished this a few minutes ago, actually, just trimming out these windows. They've been in for a while, but I just hadn't gotten around to trimming them. And all the trim on this place, being that it's a rustic cabin, is basically framing lumber, Doug fir framing lumber, so it's good and sturdy, and trimmed in such a way that the inner pieces kind of match up with the sides of the windows. They're similar in thickness. They stick out just a smidge. And then I took a piece of 2x6. I actually ripped down 2x6s to get 2¼ inch wide material. So I added together, what do I have? 2¼ and 1½ 3 3/4 is the net width of the trim, but it sticks out a little further. So when the log siding goes on, it has something to bump into that sticks out a little further than it does. So that's been the theme here. And so I got this window trimmed out, little piece of metal cap on top, and then with this big overhang, this actually doesn't see a lot of direct weather. But so because these are all in, I was able to get up there, and we've measured, and we're going to fill all the space in between the windows with lumber, framing lumber, leaving a little bit of extra space for the expansion and contraction so we don't put pressure on these windows. And so there'll be vertical pieces going between, up the sides, and then above the slider. I'm going to start running siding now that I've got this all in. I've got to trim the slider where that lumber's on order. I don't have quite enough here, but once that slider's been trimmed on the outside in the same way, then I'll run siding from the bottom up and right up even with the top of these windows. And there'll be a strip of wood going across the top of those windows and under the mid-level windows so that everything will have a finished look. Everything above those windows will be just framing lumber painted green, so I don't want the tedium of trying to fit little bits of siding in there. It would be silly. So the siding will go up and fill the space above the slider and then stop into a piece of wood that goes all the way across. So anyway, little by little, these things are coming along, little decisions being made. And now that everything's measured up, I've ordered all this wood that we need to finish, so this back end will be pretty close to being finished very soon. All that wood's supposed to come tomorrow, so Trying to get ahead of this weather. It's been kind of not terribly bad. Yesterday was actually a nice sunny day. We got quite a bit done. I had a pile of wood down at my house that came from here, and that's providing some of the heat for this little wood stove. We're splitting and getting wood ready, but this is definitely a wonderful little addition. So that's what's been going on that end of the building. And then a few other little things. I've been starting to do more wiring, getting pieces of, starting to rough some of this in. I finished insulating most of the end walls, so we'll keep some heat in here. And out here, this is the entry porch, the last build out that we did. And I've been actually wiring this for, going to hang some kind of nice little lantern-y type light up in the ceiling here. And I bought a really pretty little light for out here. Those just came the other day, so I'll step out here for a second. So this is the porch, and it's got a nice little overhang on it, about 4 feet out at the top, and that will help shield the stairs. I think at the last video I was talking about getting this leach field put in, so that's been done. I haven't hooked the wiring up yet. That's something that I will hopefully do before snow flies, so we can build in a bathroom and have it function. But so this little porch is coming along quite cute, and that'll be sided as soon as that door goes in. I actually have that door. We ordered it. Kind of a nice custom little door. It came from a place that stains and polyurethanes the door, so it's in a box. You can't see it now, but hopefully the next week or so we'll have that in, and then we can side this end. So moving along. We're almost totally indoors now. Once this door is in and the outside of this is done, then this little unheated entry porch will be something that we can finish. And of course I did put all this wood in. I haven't gotten the bottoms done or the end wall, but I wanted to get some wire up. I got to run a couple more pieces of wire up there for a 3-way switch to access this porch lighting. So it's all coming. It's all coming together. Quite pleased we were able to jam out as much work as we did over the last few months. So that's where we're at. And I will keep you posted as we move further into it. And hopefully by the time we have snow piling up outside, we're done out there and we have heat and light in here, so we're going to be happy campers. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a good day.